What's up, people? Man, I'm gonna get right to the point. Our people is just completely destroyed. Our people is just completely destroyed. You can look at them and you can tell by the way that people how they deal with knowledge, learning, understanding. When you get around those things, those elements, learning, understanding, wisdom, and knowledge and understanding, you'll start to see where people is actually kind of backs up. You know what I mean? Everybody claim that they believe in God. If you ask everybody or any person, do you believe in God? Most of them will say, yes, I believe in God. When they come down to saying, do I love God? Everybody will say they love God. The average person will tell you that they love God in a split second. But ask them, what do they know? Or can I teach you this? Or can I teach you that? Do you know anything about the commandments of God? Do you know anything about the commandments? You know what they're gonna tell you? They're gonna flip on you then. That's where you will find out immediately. Well, I know I keep the commandments in my own heart. I love God. And whatever you feel keeping the commandments is, then that's what it is. I do what I feel like I keep what I believe keeping the commandments is, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, listen to what you just said. You just said that you feel whatever it is that you do in your own heart. Let me ask you another question. Why are you saying what I feel? What about what your God tell you? You see what I'm saying? What about what your God tell you? They don't even want to even consider nothing that they God say. You can even show it to them directly in the Bible, and they're gonna sit up there and they're gonna swear you down that they don't understand when you clearly showing it to them. I mean, why would it not register with your mind? You see what I'm saying? Now the video is entitled "People Would Rather Give More Time to Esau than their God." That's how they are. They'd rather honor and respect the very man that's oppressing them, that's putting a knife in their back, that's been killing their ancestors, rape their grandma, they rape their mama and their great great grandpa and their great great grandmother and rape their great great grandchildren and their great great wives, women and men of color, raping your men, and these are the very same people that you still gonna come up and you're gonna give homage to, and you're gonna say I'm being racist. Really? Your very God separates. Why can't I show this to our people? They don't even want to even consider nothing. And they think what they say makes perfect sense. You can't even tell them to do no research. Now they ready to snap and chop you up for telling them to do research. I find that to be mighty, mighty, mighty odd. They don't want you dealing with them in nothing. And that's what I don't understand, man. People sit around and they like, but they'll believe everything the white man say. Everybody got all the time in the world for everything else in the world, but they ain't got no time for their God. None whatsoever. They'll lay around, sleep all day, sleep this and sleep that, but have no time giving their time to the so-called white man, the devil out there in the streets, serving his drugs that he put in their community to kill them every day. That's what they don't mind. That's what they do. They don't consider nothing about their God. Nothing. They think everything about their God is a lie. But as the minute you ask them, do you believe in God? They're gonna say, yeah. Yeah, I believe in God. What do you know about the commandments? Oh Lord, there you go with the commandments. What do you mean? You just say you believe in God. So if you love God, would you not want to know some stuff? Or should you claim what you claim you know about the commandments? Do you think you should be keeping them? Why would you say that? Doesn't make any sense? How could you say that you believe in God, but you don't believe none of his commandments? That don't even make sense. Everybody wants to follow their own way. They don't want to do what the Most High tell them. Our people, let me show you who they believe in. This is who they believe in. They believe in this man right here. Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ship by the way whereof I have spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. For bondmen, slave men, and bondwomen, slave women, and no man shall buy you. Nobody will redeem you but the black Messiah. Okay, you shall be sold. And the Lord shall bring thee unto Egypt again with ship by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. That means we'll never see our homeland again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. We honor more. They'd rather serve their enemies than actually honoring what they God told. They actually telling God to his face, you are the best way. But you know who I would rather worship? I would rather worship my enemy. I would rather listen to the lies of my enemies tell me that it's going to rain when I know it's not going to rain. I would rather look at the news and listen to the white supremacist man lie to me than to look at what my God is telling me. My God is telling me that they are liars, but we still would rather that we'd rather trust in lies and oppression rather than trusting in what our God say. The Bible says that somewhere in Isaiah, I'm gonna have to look them up, but it is in the Bible. The Bible said they love lies. That's right. He said they love lies. Our people love lies, man. They not gonna listen to this. Everybody say they believe in God. This is what I want y'all to get. Deuteronomy 6 and 3. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as the Lord God of thy fathers had promised thee in the land that floweth with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And these words which I command thee this day, they shall be in thy heart. He said, shall be in thy heart. Okay? A lot of people ain't gonna follow this here. A lot of people gonna look at my video and they're gonna make a mockery at what I'm saying. Watch what I tell you. Do you know they got some people that will actually literally sit in your face and make fun of you while you're telling them what they're telling them? And I'm gonna show them a text on that too. Make fun of it. Keep on making fun of the servants that's trying to tell you and trying to educate you and trying to tell you. It's not just really about giving you text out the Bible. This is about giving you some history. Okay, it is. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 8. Therefore shall ye keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong and go in and possess the land, whether ye go to possess it, and that ye may prolong your days in the land. See that he said you that verse 9 said you will prolong your days. But when you ask people, do they believe in God? That's one thing. But when you ask them, therefore ye shall keep all the commandments. They don't want to have nothing to do with that. As soon as you mention something like that, they get quiet and they shut down. I've had this happen to me. They don't want to hear nothing about their God. Nothing. They'll say, oh, I believe in God, I believe in God, I believe in God. As soon as you go to the commandments, you said the wrong thing. We enemies. How could you believe in your God when you don't even want to even do what your God tell you? But you believe in God. You see how the so-called white man got you brainwashed? People would rather give more time to their enemy. Esau is your enemy. You would rather believe what your enemy tell you. But yet and still, they try to clown me. I'm gonna show you what's gonna happen to you. Anybody who watch this video and continue to be sell out Uncle Tom, I'm gonna show y'all what's gonna happen. You make fun of me, I'm gonna show you. And keep on doing it. You keep doing it now. It's gonna be just like it was in the time of Noah. The Most High gonna come back here and snatch all them eyes and sockets and breath out of you. Y'all, a lot of people think this is a joke, but this ain't no joke, man. They think it's a joke, but I'm facing to show them in a minute. They think it's funny. How people gonna dialogue with you? That you bugged out. I can't deal with a person bugged out, man. Look what the Bible says here. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delighteth in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. It says fools hate knowledge. So anyway, you can hate knowledge in many different ways. They got people that will mock you. That's a form of hate knowledge. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Simplicity. And the scorner delighteth in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn ye at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and I will make known my words unto you, because I call and ye refuse. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regardeth it, regardeth. But ye have set at naught, and all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. That means get corrected. Now look what God, the Most High said in verse 26 of Proverbs chapter 1. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear comes. When your fear comes as a desolation, and your destruction comes as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not, I will refuse the answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For they that hated knowledge, that word hate knowledge, they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. That means debating and arguing with people. When somebody's trying to tell you something, you sitting up there talking to them, and before you get all the words out, they cutting in on you, telling you, and they don't even know, they ain't studied no precepts, they ain't pulled no reproof, they ain't studied no context, they ain't did nothing. They just telling you something out their own heart and out of their own mind. In Proverbs, it tells you, he that trusted in his own heart and mind is a fool. They would none of my counsel. They despise all my, not some of it, but it said that means they don't want to hear nothing you got to say about their own God. But they claim they love their own God, but they ain't got no time for him at all. They ain't got no kind of time for him. They would none of my counsel. They would none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. But for the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. He said that, in other words, they're going to be destroyed. But whoso hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. That's what it says, man. See, they like words like this here. They love women like this. Proverbs chapter 5 and verse. This is what how the white man taught our sisters is to be bugged out, and because they all these things is to destroy us. For the lips of a strange woman drop as a honeycomb. Now, see, a strange woman. For the lips of a strange woman, that refers to Edomite woman. For the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharper as a two-edged sword. Her feet goes down to the death of her. It goes down unto death. That means them white, them Becky, y'all believe them people alone. That's what this is talking about. Her feet goest down to death. Her steps take hold on hell, lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable that thou canst not know them. Y'all better be careful with these so-called Edomite people, because these people will turn. Let me tell you what they did, what these Moabite women did to Solomon. Let's go to let's see here. Where I read that in verse 3. I think I read that in verse let's see where I read that in. I want to remember where I read that at. I just read it just a minute ago and I had it. Yeah, I think this is it. For the lips of a strange woman dropped as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, but her end is bitter as wormwood, sharper than a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death. Her steps take hold on hell, lest thou shouldest ponder the path of life. Her ways are movable that thou canst not know them. Now let's see what happened to Solomon. We're gonna see the woman I'm gonna give you the context where it's talking about the lips of a strange woman dropped as a honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil, and her words dropped as a honeycomb, but her end is bitter as wormwood. I'm gonna show you how these women took and led Solomon. Let's see here. Let's go to first. I think it's in Samuel. I get Samuel and Kings mixed up. I think it's in First Kings. I might be Second King because I ain't read it in a while. Let's look at First Kings chapter 11, verse 1. But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites. Y'all know who these women are. The Moabites is the Chinese. Let me dig up some history on that right quick. You sit up there and make fun of a person all they want. Who are the Chinese, the Moabites?
Here is some information about motorcycle industry in China.
No, I didn't say that. According to the Bible, who are the Moabites?
Here is some information for what is a Moabite. According to Britannica.com, Moabite, member of a West Semitic people who lived in the highlands east of the Dead Sea and flourished in the 9th century BC. They are known principally through information given in the Old Testament and from the inscription on the Moabite stone.
Who did the Moabites worship? Chemosh was the nationality deity of the Moabites, whose name mostly likely meant destroyer, southern or fish god, while he is most readily associated with the Moabites. According to Judges chapter 11 and 24, he seems to have been the national deity of the Ammonites. Well, okay, what was the religion of the Moabites? Okay, the most of the Moabites following the ancient the Semite religion, like other ancient Semite speaking people, and the book of Numbers says that they introduced the Israelites to join in their sacrifices. Their chief gods was Chemosh. Their chief gods was Chemosh, and the Bible refers to them as the people of Chemosh. Okay, the people of Chemosh. Do okay, let's look at the Wikipedia here and let's see. We're gonna find out who Key Marshall was and all those people because we definitely have to find out who Key Marshall was. This article is about a location in Jordan in the Middle East for the city unit in the Western United States. See Moab for other other seers. See Moabite. Uh, Moab is the historical name for a mountain, the mountain tract of the land in Jordan. The land lies alongside much of the eastern shore of the Dead Sea. The existence of the kingdom of Moab is attest to by numerous archaeological funds, most notably the which described the Moabites' victory over unnamed son of King Omri of Israel. The Moabites' capital was Do, Dobon, Dibon. I'm sorry, Dibon. According to the Hebrew Bible, Moab was often in conflict with its Israelite neighbors to the west. See, the Israelites was in the west. See, that's why I say in the west, the West Africans are Israelites. So let's look at some more stuff here. All right, let me just go ahead on and read this here, and we're gonna find out who Chemosh is. All right, here we go. But the king of Solomon loved many strange women together with the daughter of Pharaoh. Remember, we talked about the strange woman in Proverbs chapter 5. And Pharaoh, the women of the Moabites, Ammon, the Ammonites, the Japanese, and the Edomites. That's the so-called white man, the red man. The Edomites and the Zidonians and the Hittites. All these other nations. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you. He says, you should not go in unto them, and they should not come in unto you. Simple as that. God is telling you, leave these Edomite, other outside races of people alone. He's telling you to leave them alone. But you know, you got a lot of bad people. Jacob is hard-headed. Jake is hard-headed. Jake don't want to listen. Israel don't want to listen. Israel turn around and join and say, nah, I'd rather go ahead and listen to the so-called Edomite. They'd rather follow the commandments of men than to follow the commandments of their own God. This is what our people are doing. Ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. They will turn away your heart after their gods. See, this is the reason why God says, I have chosen you according to Deuteronomy chapter 7 and verse 6. Therefore, I have chosen you to be a special people above all people. You see what I'm saying? So if he's chosen you, he's telling you he's chosen us out of all the other nations. See, he's showing us right here. People say God is not racist, but he's showing right here, he's telling you that you're better than the other nations. He's telling you not to marry the Moabite woman, the Chinese woman, the so-called white man. He's telling you not to marry these people because he's telling you right here that you're better. I'm not saying this literally. You can actually read this right here in your Bible that you got sitting on your shelf. Of the nation concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in unto them, neither shall they come in unto you. For surely they will turn away your heart after their God. Solomon cleaved unto them in love. And he had 700 wives and princes, and 300 concubines. That means he had 60 concubines. He had 700 wives and princes and 300 concubines. That means harlots. Harlots. And his wives turned away his heart. They turned away his heart. Now listen to this end. But it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God. See that? The Lord his God. It didn't say his heart was not perfect with the Lord their gods. He said the Lord his God, as was the heart of David, his father. For Solomon went after Ashtaroth and the gods of the Zidonians and Malcolm, the abomination of the Ammonites. That's the I think that's the Japanese. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord and went not fully after. He said went not fully after the Lord as did David his father. Then did Solomon build in high place for Chemosh. Okay, I keep coming across that word Chemosh. Let's look that word up and see according to the biblical definition, what is that word Chemosh? It may be. I'm pretty sure it refers to a nation of people. According to the Bible in 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 7, what does Chemosh mean?
Solomon's spouses are Pharaoh's daughter and Nama.
Okay. According to the biblical Bible, what does Chemosh means? I never missed the Ranger, Lone Ranger television show when I was growing up. I suppose the portrayal of, wait a minute, hold on, Chemosh. According to 1 Kings 11 and 7, what does Chemosh mean? Chemosh, is that a state of confusion, a noisy disturbance? She was a distract. She was a distraction by a commotion across the street. That must be what it's nothing good. Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab. This Chemosh, who is Chemosh according to the Bible?
Kim Marsh's spouses are Jamie Lomas from 2012 to 2014.
Oh, wait a minute. According to the Bible, who is Chemosh?
Here's a summary from ThoughtCo. Chemosh was the national deity of the Moabites whose name most likely meant destroyer, subduer, or fish god. 24 He seems to have been the national deity of the Ammonites as well.
Chemosh was the national deity of the Moabites, whose name mostly likely meant destroyer, subduer, or fish god. While he is most readily associated with the Moabites, according to Judges chapter 11 and verse 24. He seems to have been the national deity of the Ammonites as well. Okay, we're gonna have to look up the Ammonites, but let's go and let's read Judges chapter 11 and verse 24. Let's go there and let's see what's going on there. I see. I learned one thing: it's better to read the context to a lot of these things. Judges chapter, what did it say? Judges chapter 11 and 24. Judges chapter 11 and verse 24. See, a lot of people ain't gonna take their time and study nothing about their God. Now, Jephthah, the Gideonites was a mighty man of value, and he was the father of an harlot. And Gideon begot Jephthah. Okay, that's not all right. Let me go ahead and read the text. I'm messing around. My bad. I'm messing around. All right, let's go to Judges chapter 11 and verse 24. Judges 11 and 24. Let's look at that. Will not thou possess that which Chemosh thy God giveth thee to possess? So whomsoever the Lord our God shall drive out from before us, them will we possess. Okay, so he said, them will we possess. So the Chemosh nations Chemosh was the national deity of the Moabites, whose name most likely meant destroyer, Sadur, or fish god, while he is most readily associated with the Moabites. According to Judges chapter 11, he seems to have been the national deity of the Ammonites as well. Chemosh and the ancient god of the Moabites. Let's look at that. Chemosh is the ancient god. I'm showing y'all a stone right there. Yeah, so that must be some kind of god. Chemosh was the national deity of the Moabites, whose name was most likely meant destroyer, subduer, or fish god. So that's what that meant. You know what I mean? So wait, wait, not thou possess that which Chemosh thy God giveth thee to possess. So whomsoever the Lord our God shall drive out from before us, then we will possess. Okay, now I know it went it rung across another word that I can't really think of it right now, but I just read across that word. And let me go back to 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 6. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord as did David his father. Then did Solomon build in high place the, the build in high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, the hill that is before Jerusalem, for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. Ammon is the progenitor of the Chinese too as well. Okay, let's look at Molech. According to the Bible, who is Molech?
According to Wikipedia,
Malcolm is such. Oh, wait a minute. Who is Amalek? Hold on. According to the Bible, who is Molech?
according to Wikipedia, Malcolm is each time specifically mentioned as a god of the Ammonites, while Molech is generally depicted as a god worshipped by the Israelites in the context of the passing through fire of their children.
Molech is the children of Ammon, are the children of Ammon, the children of abomination. That's what it's talking about. Malcolm is each time specifically mentioned as a god of the Ammonites, while Molech is generally depicted as a god worshipped by the Israelites in the context of the passing through fire of their children, with an exception one of 1 Kings 1, 1 Kings 11, verse 7, which means Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon, wildly. Where is Molech in the Bible? I'm already there. Let's look at Molech also is spelled Molech, a Canaanite deity associated in biblical sources with the practices of child sacrifices. Okay, in the Hebrew Bible, Molech is present as a foreign deity who was at times illegitimately given a place in Israel's worship as a result of the systematic or systematic I don't know how you say this in sister cyrotistics, the politics of certain apostate kings. Who is Morlach in Watchmen? Okay, let's look at. I try to get as much understanding out of this as I possibly could. Okay, let's look at this end. Then did Solomon build a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon. See, this is what I'm talking about. I don't want to get too far away, but this is talking about we love our enemy. We love the very people that's trying to kill us and cut us off and continue to keep doing it. Let's look at Psalms chapter 83. Psalms 83. Psalms 83 and 1. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. That means they come together. Tumult. Uh, what is tumult?
Here's the definition of tumult: a loud, confused noise, especially one caused by a large mass of people.
A loud, confused noise, especially one caused by a large mass of people. A violent and noisy commotion or disturbance of a crowd of Moab. Uproar. The tumult reached its highest the during the speech of a general outbreak, violent and noisy commotion or disturbance. That's what it's all about. They come together with confusion to try to cut you off. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up the head, I'm sorry. Now, think about this here. This goes back to what I was saying at first. We love to worship our enemy. We love to worship the very people who's killing us in the street. Now listen to this here. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. Okay, I knew what that word meant one time. I knew what it meant, but I kind of forgot. But I did. What does it word crafty mean? What does the word crafty means?
Here's the definition of crafty: clever at achieving one's aims by indirect or deceitful methods.
Yeah, crafty. That means they coming together. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation." Okay, they have taken crafty counsel against. That means indirect or deceitful. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. They consulted against who are the hidden ones? The Israelites. They have said, "Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel," now listen to that, the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacle of Edom, that's the so called white man, the Ishmaelites, that's Ishmael, or the Arabs, or Moab, the Chinese, and the Hagarenes, that's an African tribe. Gilbel, that's an African tribe. Ammon, that's the another African tribe, I believe, and the Amalek, the fake Jews, that's in our Holy Land. Amalek is the fake Jews, and the Philistines is another African tribe, and with the inhabitation of Tyre. Asher is also joined with them. That means the Arabs. Asher. I think I'm saying, yeah, hold on, let me look up the definition of that word too. What is ASSUR? What is the meaning of ASSUR?
According to Collins Dictionary, or Supreme National God of the Ancient Assyrians, chiefly a war god, whose symbol was an archer within a winged disc.
Asher and British. Asher are British, the supreme nation god of the ancient Assyrians, chiefly a war god whose symbols was an okay, they talking about okay. Asher is also joined with them. They have helped the children of Lot. They have helped the children of Lot. That means the Chinese people, they have helped the Chinese people to cut us off. See, all these other nations is teaming up against us, is to cut us off. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook Kison, which perishes at Endor. They became as dove for the earth. Make their nobles like Orbit or Orab, and like a Zebon, yea, all their princes as Zeban and as I don't know what that is, people. Hold on. Let me look that up right quick. Let me look that up right quick. What is ZALMUNNA?
Here's a summary from Wikipedia and Zalman on vast host of
Okay, that's ZALMUNNA. That's a Zeman was the two kings who led the vast host of the Midianites who invaded the land of Israel, over whom they gained great and device victory. These were the ones that invaded the land of Israel. That's what they did. So that's who that nation was. Zaban, Zaman, Zaman, who said, "Let us take to ourselves the house of God in possessions." See, all these nations is the Ammonites, the Hagarines, the Gilbel, the Amalek, the fake Jews, and all these people, and the Chinese people, they have helped. In other words, when they say they have helped the children of Lot, all of these people are helping Lot's children. That means the children of Lot is helping out too with cutting us off. Even the African nation, they doing that too because they hate Israel. And see, a lot of people, when you go deeply into stuff like this here, they ain't gonna want to hear this. They ain't trying to hear nothing about being in light. It seems like to me, from what I get out of people, they hate to be enlightened. Remember what I read earlier, where it says fools hate knowledge. It seems like that's what they do. They don't want to hear nothing that their God is telling them about this enemy. Yeah, they just don't want to have nothing to do with their God. Now remember what I read in Proverbs as well too, where I was talking about Proverbs chapter 4, where it says in verse 3, I think it was in verse 3, the lips of a strange woman drops as a honeycomb, but her bitter the her the but her end is bitter as wormwood. Her way is, it goes all the way down to the chain, to the death of hell. Her steps takes hold on hell and all that kind of stuff. And we just read about Solomon taking all of these different women's and cleaving to these different gods, like the Zidonians and the Moabites, the Moabite women, and all that kind of stuff. We read where he was taught, where he was cleaved to these women. And notice what it said. The most important thing it says that they turned away his heart, messing with the Edomite women. And that's why your God, my God, said, don't fool with them. And see, this is the reason why the Most High God cut Israel off, because they was marrying strange wives and strange God, because they didn't want to do nothing that they God told them to do. Yep. It says, let's look at verse 16, if it'll make sense. Then there dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Israel, of Judah, unto the children of Judah, and in Jerusalem. Matter of fact, God was from the tribe of Judah. Remember, this whole video is about people would rather give more time to Esau than their God. Now listen to this here. And there dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which brought fish and all manner of ware and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. Then I contented with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, what evil thing is this that ye do and profane in the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus did not your fathers thus, and did not your fathers do the same thing, your forefathers? Now I want to answer this question according to what people be telling me. You may not always all the way understand it, but I'm gonna give you an analysis. Did not your fathers thus, and did not our Father, our God, bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye brought more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. Now, listen, it said, did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us? See, he said, did not your forefathers did the same thing? In other words, just like we're paying for the sins of our forefathers, we are the only one that's under that curse. We are paying for what our forefathers did, just like we're doing it. The so-called white man and all of other nations, Edom, and all those people that led us into slavery, which is our enemies, they're gonna have to pay for what their forefathers did by cutting us off, just like what I read in Psalms chapter 83 and verse 1, where it says, coming, where the other nations helped the children of Lot, the Moabites or the Chinese people, the Arab man, and the Hagarenes and the African tribe, and all those people to cut us off as a nation, and all of that, and how they doing all those horrible things to God's people. Then the tables are gonna be turned. It's gonna be what you call trading places. You see what I'm saying? And let me read verse 18 again. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 18. Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet ye bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I command that the gates should be shut, and charge that they should not be open until after the Sabbath. And some of my servants, as I sat at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So the merchants and the sellers of all kind of ware lodge without Jerusalem once or twice. Then I testified against them and said unto them, why large ye about the wall. If ye do so again, I will lay hands on you. From that time forth came they no more on the Sabbath. Okay. And I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves, that they should come and keep the gates. That means be leaders. That means being leaders. Keep the gates. That means be watchmen. To sanctify the Sabbath day. That means to make sure that everything go that the Most High's orders go out properly. And remember me, oh my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. See, this is what, and I commanded the Levites that they should cleanse themselves and that they should come and keep the gates to sanctify the Sabbath day. Remember me, oh my God, concerning this also, and spare me according to the greatness of thy mercy. In those days also I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and Ammon and of Moab, and their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of each people. I contended with them and 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 cursed them and smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by God, saying, Ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons, nor take your daughters unto your sons or for yourselves. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet many amongst many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Outlandish women cause him to sin. Cause to sin, I mean. Shall we then hearken unto you? Let me read this up again. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet amongst many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. And did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet amongst many nations there was no king like him, who was the beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God and marry strange wives? And one of the sons of Judah, Jodiah, I'm sorry, I said Judah, but I think it's Jodiah. Jodiah, the son of Elisha, Elisha, high priest, the high priest, was the son-in-law to Sanbatta, and the Horatites. Therefore I chase him from me. Remember them, O my God, because they have defiled the priesthood and the covenant of the priesthood of the Levites. They thus cleanse I them from all strangers, and appointed the wives of the priests and the Levites, every one in his business, and for the wood offering at times appointed, and for the first fruits, remember me, O my God, for good. I end up reading probably half of the chapter. Because, see, this was called, I want to show y'all that this Bible is not a religious book, too. Look what it says here. Oh, that day they read in the book of Moses and audience of the people, there was found written that the Ammonites and the Moabites should not come unto the congregation of God forever. What does forever mean? Forever and forever and eternity. Oh, that day they read in the book, not the book of Christianity. And let me read that again. Nehemiah chapter 13, 1. And that day they read in the book of Moses, not a Christianity book, not in the none of that, in the book of Moses, in the audience of the people. And therein was found written that the Ammonites and the Moabites should not come unto the congregation of God forever, because they met not the children of Israel with bread. That means these are the people that is rich and they own everything. But God sent them over us because we didn't listen to God. So God allowed us to serve our enemy. Is which is what I was trying to tell a couple of people earlier. Because they met you not with bread, because they met not the children of Israel with bread and with water, but hired Balaam against them, that he should curse them. Howbeit, our God turned to curse unto a blessing. Okay, when it says in Balak, you go back into Numbers chapter 22 and 23. It talks about how Balak wanted Balaam. You can go read about it. How Balak wanted Balaam to curse the children of Israel. And that's why Nehemiah said, our God turned the curse unto a blessing. Now it came to pass when they had heard the law that they separated from Israel all of the mixed multitude. See, the mixed multitude was all of other nations, like the Chinese and the Moabite. They had to get rid of. Because see, it said, look what it says in Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 3. Now it came to pass when they had heard the law, and that they separated from Israel all the mixed multitude. And before thus Elisha the priest, having the oversight of the chamber of the house of our God, was alien unto Tobiah, and he had prepared for him a great chamber, where aforetime they laid the meat offerings and the frankincense and the vessels and the tithings of the corn and the new wine and of the oil, which was commanded to be given to the Levites and the strength and the singers and the portions and the officers of the priests, the offerings of the priests, excuse me. Verse 6 of chapter 13 of Nehemiah. But in all this time was not I at Jerusalem, for in 2 and 13 years of Artaxerxes, king of Babylon, came I unto the king, and after certain days obtained I leave of the king, and I came to Jerusalem and understood of the evil that Elisha did for Tobiah, and prepared him a chamber in the courts of the house of God. See, Tobiah, I think Tobiah was a was like a priest. I think Tobiah. Let's find out. Let's see. I can find it quick. I can find it right here. According to Nehemiah in the Bible, who is Tobiah?
According to Wikipedia, according to the book of Nehemiah in the Hebrew Bible in the Old Testament, Tobiah was an Ammonite official who attempted to hinder Nehemiah's efforts to rebuild Jerusalem after the Babylonian exile and took over the storerooms of the temple for his own use.
Okay, I get it. I think I read it before, but I really didn't. The testament of Tobiah was an Ammonite official who attempted to hinder Nehemiah's office He was a Ammonite. He was kin to the Moabites. So I read a whole lot, y'all, where it talked about strange wives, how y'all can see clearly how God tells his people not to marry strange wives. So I don't know how this video going to come out, what's up with it, but we'll go back and I'll look at the playback and I'll see what happened if I messed up any in this video. All right, people. Peace and love to my people of color, and I'm out.